Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Airspeed Reads Naruto video. This one's going to be for volume 57 of the manga, which is called Battle. We cover 10 chapters, I believe, in this one. We cover 535 to 544, Iruka's impact, battle, toward nightfall, cross-examination, blood night, Madara's scheme, Raikage versus Naruto, the secret origin of the ultimate tag team, truer words, and two sons. So overall, a really good volume. A lot of different things are happening. You're beginning to see the tide turn in the war as kind of the larger scale thing that's happening there. You see Naruto and B both basically get to the point where they're about to enter the war, and because of that, Madara is also entering the war with some big changes in terms of the, I suppose, the Rinnegan being more of an active part of the power of the reanimated kind of shinobi. There's other little things like the tactics on the bad guy side of things begin to come into play, that they suffered huge defeats in the day and it looked like it was basically a landslide victory for the good guys. But the Zetsus actually have a power that when they kill a shinobi, they can then basically transform into that shinobi and act exactly like them. Chakra signature is the same. It's not just a transformation jutsu. Chakra signature, everything looks the exact same. It's just the knowledge of Zetsu is required to make it a good kind of clone. So that comes into play with regards to how they begin to realize that that's the case, with Sakura getting a little bit of a focus there. And then just a lot of little things, like we see Itachi is kind of out there as well. Nagato are, in terms of reanimated shinobi, they're talking and it looks like something big's going to happen with them. Naruto and the Nine Tails have a notable scene together, and then of course the two backstory moments of like Naruto and Sasuke when they were younger, and then Killer Bee and A when they were younger. So let's get into this. We start off with the Iruka stuff, and basically what we get here is Naruto manages to get outside after really easily seeing through what Iruka and everyone was trying to do to convince him to stay. Outside, in Sage mode, he realizes that there is a war on, that people are basically dying for him, as it gets explained to him that the war is effectively for him. So that's definitely interesting. How that kind of plays out in terms of like Iruka eventually just comes out and reveals to Naruto the war. And he tries to basically say, no, this war is for you. Don't be selfish. Don't go out on your own and fight in the war. It's all to protect you. But Naruto, obviously, what all the other characters don't quite get with Naruto now is how much he is kind of put into what he knows he has to do, basically, in the war. That he says, I can stop this. I will face eternal hatred. I will face the pain that does not heal. That's my role. And just he is so determined here that he's willing to even go against Iruka at this point. Iruka tries to seal him, and Naruto just goes Nine Tails modes and runs off. And it turns out that Iruka basically knew that this was going to be the case and left Naruto a note in his headband. And it basically just says, just look after yourself when you're part of the war. And then B comes up to Iruka and basically kind of confirms to him that, like, even though you just had a bit of an issue there, Naruto, like, treats you like, he says, to Naruto you shine like the sun, Naruto needs you, whatever you've done. Just that's kind of establishing again this kind of more or less father-son relationship, which at this point they still don't quite get what their relationship with each other is, in that Iruka's like, you're like a little brother to me. But, obviously we see in the very last episode of the anime, in the Konoha, the wedding novel, that's when their relationship fully, they realize kind of what they are to each other. We see Madara, once he realizes that the 8 and 9 Tails are going to enter the battlefield, he basically summons the Geto statue to participate in the fight, because obviously I don't think we quite know just yet the details about the Geto statue, but that it is going to be an important part of Project Tsukinome. But yeah, so what happens here is that word comes back to the Allied Shinobi base that Naruto and Killer Bee are going to enter the battlefield. So the Raikage and Tsunade both basically rush out to stop them. Like, they don't want them to enter the battlefield because obviously from their perspective, that's what the war has been for this entire time. Madara reveals that Project Tsukinome is going to be executed upon tomorrow's rising sun, and we get an update in the war that the Allied Shinobi forces have casualties of 40,000 out of 80,000, and the Akatsuki casualties are 50,000 out of 100,000. So they're both basically taking each other out kind of 50%, but the Akatsuki overall have more, full stop, basically more people. And this is obviously highlighting the fact that we're halfway through the war. Now the big players are properly getting into place. Naruto is going to enter the battle and so on. But as Naruto and Killer Bee rush to enter the battle, what we get is that the Ninetales begins to talk to Naruto and basically, just criticize him, try and get some hatred out of Naruto to kind of take over control of him. He's kind of like offering, like, you need more power to win. I will give you more of my chakra. Basically trying to trick him like he's kind of done in the past. But Naruto is just like, no, why are you talking to me? Are you lonely or something? He's much more confident talking to the Ninetales because he knows that the Ninetales is really just this kind of massive hatred. That's all it knows. And so it's interesting when the Ninetales brings up, like, you haven't even been able to, help Sasuke. What have you done for him? He's still in darkness. And we get a flashback to, obviously, Naruto, I suppose, the first time he noticed this darkness in Sasuke when they had a sparring match when they were younger. And this is the flashback that introduces the idea of the unison sign, of the whole, like, what is it? It's like doing that with each other, basically. As a kind of show of respect between two shinobis who are fighting. It's interesting how it kind of like plays out here, and that it's just this idea that they never did that in the past. Anytime they fought, they never actually gave each other that respect of doing that sign, and it's kind of obviously to some degree setting up that maybe that will happen in some relation to their final battle. And basically Naruto gets one over on the Ninetales when he just says, and you know something, I'm coming after all that hate inside you too someday. So that, like, he's not just kind of targeting the hatred in the world, he also wants to basically confront the hatred within the Ninetales in an attempt to become closer to the Ninetales, like obviously Killer Bee is with the Eight Tails. And he's basically just like, I'm not a child anymore, we'll see how this goes. And it's just this kind of speechless moment almost for the Ninetales, where he doesn't know how to respond to this. It's really interesting to see that being set up as a plot point, that eventually they probably will become closer. Then we get the whole idea of the fact that shinobis are beginning to become impersonated, that they don't necessarily just have to kill them, and that like Neji gets attacked, and because he was attacked, they can then change Neji into Neji, and he kind of comes in to the medical unit with Sakura, and is basically acting like he's helping her with the investigation into these murders, but is actually out to basically kill Sakura. And in the end, Sakura manages to trick the fake Neji, who's a Zetsu, by basically talking about Tauntaun, who's obviously a pig, as if Tauntaun were an actual person, and Neji was completely unaware of that, and Sakura got the advantage and basically more or less is the one to help figure this out on the medical unit side of things, that they now know that Zetsus can do this almost complete transformation that will take anyone by surprise. And it's a huge issue for the Allied Shinobi forces as we get, in that Shikaku, who's now more or less in charge of the Allied Shinobi forces, while the Raikage and Tsunade are out dealing with Naruto and Killer Bee, he's kind of in charge, and obviously he's super intelligent, Shikamaru's father, and he's just trying to figure this out, and he doesn't really know how to do it just yet. Towards the end, he has an idea, but we'll see what happens there. But anyway, as Bee and Naruto are going to enter the battlefield, they are indeed confronted by the Raikage and Tsunade. And we get this idea that, okay, Tsunade is obviously supportive of basically the now that she's been convinced, she is now supportive of the idea of protecting Jinchuriki as part of the war. But she definitely is on the kind of outskirts of this confrontation. The Raikage is the one who is set in stone that they cannot enter the battlefield, and if he has to, he will fight Naruto and Killer Bee and kill them basically if he deems it necessary to keep the war going and keep the Eight and Nine Tails out of the opponent's hands. And we get this kind of constant battle of Naruto trying to outspeed the Raikage, as we get established that the fourth Hokage was one of the only people to ever outspeed the Raikage, and the Raikage always respected the fourth Hokage. He says, "A noble man, a finer shinobi never lived," and we get this idea that he's just kind of not really respecting like the idea of what a Jinchuriki is. It's really bringing up the idea of like that Jinchurikis are strong, yes, because they have powers, but they're also strong, mentally because of what they have to go through to be a Jinchuriki. And what they are driven by is not just, what everyone else is driven by. They have to have, as we got with the whole, Kushina kind of backstory, they have to find something to, fill the hole that's left in their heart because they basically have a being of pure hatred within them. And for Kushina, it was love, and we see here with the Eight Tails Killer Bee, he's trying to convince his brother here through the fist bump thing, where you can feel what the other person is. When you fight someone and you bump fists and like connect with them, you can sense what the other one is feeling and stuff like that. And he's trying to get across to his brother that I am powerful. You've kind of ignored my power level because you've constantly wanted me to move from the double lariat to the tail beast bomb to this and that, and you've completely ignored the fact that I also trained with the lariat and I'm now just as strong as you are. But the second I became a Jinchuriki, our relationship as the AB combo didn't become about the lariat. It became about me being a tail beast, and it's this idea that, in a way, that's what the Raikage did with Killer Bee. That the second he became the Jinchuriki, he treated him a little bit differently, and the Bee is just kind of trying to convince him here that like the reason I'm able to be so strong, the reason I'm able to control the Eight Tails and be who I am, is because we are the ultimate tag team. That is something you said to me. You chose me as your kind of brother here. And that means so much to me. That's why I fight the way I do. I fight for you, not just myself, and to become more powerful. And that's the idea of like, that is Killer Bee's sun, S-U-N. That's his kind of shining light that drives him forward. The light that kind of fills the hole in his heart is his brother. And then with Naruto, we get the reveal that even though his mother and father are dead, he still sees both of them as his twin sons, basically. That they're both there. They both, in a way, sacrificed themselves to fulfill the idea that Naruto would become the savior in time. That they had faith that he could learn to control the Nine Tails and help defeat Madara, which they both realized was the problem. And, that's effectively where we are right now. And they managed to convince the Raikage after he does perform a final test on Naruto, and that's he does his kind of really, really fast attack, lunges at Naruto, and Naruto manages to dodge it, becoming only the second person ever to dodge this attack from the Raikage after the fourth Hokage. Highlighting once again that Naruto is becoming a little bit more like the Yellow Flash in a way. I think it's really nice because you do get the backstory of like how A and B met, in that they are not blood related. It was just this kind of thing of the younger shinobi in the Cloud Village. They kind of tested all of them against A to see who would suit and match up the best with him as part of a kind of the A-B combo using the lariat, and it was B. And we get the story of them kind of coming together and them really being like brothers early on, but then the Jinchuriki stuff, the previous Jinchuriki dying, B being the next obvious choice to become the next Jinchuriki, that kind of changing things within their relationship, but B still being driven to, I suppose, fulfill all of the goals that his brother wanted for him, to become just as powerful with the lariat and stuff like that. So it's a really big moment when the two of them clash with their kind of single lariats at each other, and B is the one who actually knocks A down. So there's some really notable moments in this fight, as obviously, even though Tsunade is not speaking initially, she eventually turns sides and supports Naruto. And you really see how well she knows him, and that she's more or less was supportive of him from the start and had to be convinced by the other Kage to keep Naruto out of the war. And now she's kind of supportive of that. And you see the whole time that she's so proud of him that he was able to master the Nine Tails, chakra control and just that I suppose in a way, you know, the bet she kind of placed on Naruto back in that first arc that we were introduced to her, it's all coming like true. That the faith that she had in him is completely, you know, founded, and so that's that. And we just end with, okay, they're going to be allowed to enter the battle, and Shikaku realizes, Shikamaru's father realizes that Naruto and his power to basically sense evil intent within people, that's the way to actually discover how the who is and is not an imposter within the Allied Shinobi forces, to get past the Zetsu problem. So we don't have him telling Naruto just yet, but the final bit on the cliffhanger is the other Jinchuriki entering the battlefield with kind of Rinnegan, half you know, Mangekyo Sharingan eyes, as like this is going to be a really big thing. Six new pains, all Jinchuriki. I just added a little something, and the something is the Rinnegan kind of aspect to them. So I don't remember from the anime really the Jinchuriki being all that, you know, focused on, but it's going to be interesting to see how the anime really focuses in on that. But yeah, this was a solid volume. A lot of different things happened. I love the backstory with Killer Bee and A. Just that general confrontation with Tsunade and the Raikage with the 8 and 9 tails, I think is a really good scene to kind of have a really notable moment of them convincing the people who have kind of kept them out of the war because of like what they are rather than who they are, that they deserve to be able to fight in the war themselves, that they are shinobi as well, that they deserve to be able to fight for the fate of the world just like anyone else. I really like that. And then just the different plots coming into play. I really like the Naruto and the Nine Tails scene of just like that Naruto is going to tackle the Nine Tails and try and become friends with him at some point. Just really solid stuff. It's not the best volume, I don't think, but it is overall a very solid volume of Naruto. But yeah, that's been volume 57. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the volume, as well as what I said about it.